When coming to another country, it's always helpful to get to know the locals and their culture. Estonia is no different. It has its own unique traditions and features that might be interesting to explore. Besides, knowing some basics of the Estonian culture will help you not to get confused, to leave a good impression and show that you understand the society and people. This video will introduce you to the main aspects of the local culture you're likely to come across in Estonia. So, off we go! Estonians as people. We Estonians have our own interesting peculiarities and habits that would be useful for you to know. For instance, Estonians tend to be reserved and serious. This means that for us, close relationships develop slowly. But once created, the relationship is sincere and lasting. Respecting personal space and slight physical distance between people in business situations, whether you're standing or seated, is also something Estonians do. We favor transparency and straightforwardness. Staying silent and listening are very much part of the Estonian communication style. Eye contact is welcome in communication. It shows that you are interested in talking to the other person and that you have their attention. Physical contact is not common for us. This means that kissing on cheeks or hugging someone you don't know is unusual, but it's okay between friends and relatives. The best way to initiate physical contact is by shaking hands. Modesty and fairness are key to the Estonian society. We Estonians don't boast about our achievements. Instead, we value hard work and diligence and show our competitiveness by letting visible results speak for themselves. Unlike in some other cultures, we aren't big fans of small talk and prefer to keep our private and work lives separate. Fairness means that Estonians abide by what they say. If we make a promise, we keep it. Estonia is small. That's why people living here are curious about the world and how the world views us. Despite the country's modest population, there are about 100 different nationalities and ethnic groups represented in Estonia. We're always happy to hear about your heritage and culture. And last but not least, Estonian jokes are, for the most part, ironical and dry. Cultural traditions. Estonian culture is a strong part of our identity, and it would be helpful for you to learn some basics about the Estonian history and culture before coming here for a longer period. For instance, singing is sacred here, and every 5 years we celebrate the Song Festival. Estonians are known to have sung their way to freedom during the singing revolution of 1989-91. We also have one of the world's biggest collections of folk songs, 133,000 written records of them. Another thing to remember, Estonians typically don't speak Russian. The Estonian language is Finno-Ugric and doesn't belong to the Baltic language group. Knowledge of these basics will help you avoid falling for stereotypes and make inconsiderate remarks. Estonians are a law-abiding nation. We trust our government and institutions such as police and courts. This means that everyone is expected to abide by the law, pay taxes, drive within the speed limit, and so on. Cheating the system is not common in Estonia, and crossing the road on the red light isn't either, in case you haven't noticed. In our society, everyone, men and women, people of different nationalities and races, are treated equally. Any type of discrimination or inappropriate comments based on race, gender, age, or looks is unacceptable and should be avoided. Of course, at some point you might meet someone among Estonians who doesn't share these values. But this is an exception rather than a rule. The more we as a society learn about the world, the better we understand it. Several public holidays are important for you to remember. For instance, the 24th of February is Estonians' Independence Day. The 20th of August is the date of the restoration of independence from the Soviet Union. And the 23rd of June is Midsummer Day. We also celebrate some of the holidays in quite unique ways. For instance, Valentine's Day for us is also a friendship day. and it's common to give gifts not just to your other half, but also to your closer friends. Our nature is also part of the Estonian heritage. This is so because more than 51% of our land is covered in forest. We love our forests. We generally love spending time in the countryside. Manners and etiquette. Don't underestimate your manners in Estonia. You never know when you're going to find yourself in a situation where knowing specific etiquette or manners may come in handy. Here are some tips for you. Estonians are quiet, and this also reflects on our manners. We tend to speak softly and don't like to draw attention to ourselves. The qualities that we respect are being rational, staying calm, and not going to emotional extremes. Gifts is another important topic to cover. Gifts are usually exchanged for birthdays and Christmas. In some cultures, it's okay to give gifts to colleagues or business partners, whereas in Estonia, this is not expected, especially among public sector workers. However, small gifts for business partners the company or a particular employee knows are acceptable. Such gifts would be chocolates or small sweets. If you are invited to an Estonian's house, a decent gift to bring is a box of chocolates or some flowers. Flowers should be given in odd numbers. Remember that. 5 or 7 flowers will do. When heading somewhere, always try to be on time. If you're running late, let the other person know about it. Another important aspect to remember is that we don't wear shoes inside our homes. Our table manners are continental. That is, the fork is held in the left hand and the knife in the right while eating. Also, don't begin eating until everyone else has also been served their food. We wish everyone to enjoy their meal by saying "headisu" before eating. At a meal, it's inconsiderate to grab more than you can finish. So take smaller portions and finish everything on your plate. It's not just a matter of etiquette, but also just practical. When going out, a few words about the service will come in handy. In Estonia, tips are not included in the bill, and tipping is not compulsory. However, it's part of our custom to tip when you enjoyed the service. As Estonians are reserved and quiet, the customer service experience might not be emotionally the warmest. However, reserved service should not be considered as rude. People who serve you mostly don't mean to be unfriendly, but rather the opposite. In the meantime, the culture of showing emotions is slowly picking up, and people in the service industry are becoming more open. Contact. For useful tips about the Estonian culture, please check out the International House of Estonia webpage. The webpage of International House of Tartu is here. The webpage of the Integration Foundation has lots of interesting materials on multicultural life in Estonia, but also on the Estonian language learning opportunities.